store, but the prettiest sight to see.
Comcast isn't freezing to death in this logo. This guy decides to retrieve this box using this janky-ass ladder just as the store opens on what I assume is Black Friday. Where was this cartoonishly butch security when the store opened and that Mucho Mart greeter was trampled? People fighting over Christmas decorations on Black Friday instead of Bop It, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Furby, or other toys that will prove how old I am. Suddenly, everyone is calm and orderly in the checkout line. Maybe they saw those other people get tasered for no reason and realized the security guards at Mucho Mart mean business. Why the f*** is a kid's nativity play happening in this store? Did the local elementary school burn down? Or did the director convince them to have it here because it made the transition easier? This guy clearly has a mild case of super strength if he's able to carry that television under one arm. And that concludes our delightfully out-of-context slow-mo nightmare holiday montage. Even though Grandma knows the Krampus rules, she is still presumably suspicious every Christmas, despite no one summoning him.
He even told the first graders that Santa was just a cheap marketing ploy and invented to sell Pepsi. Coke.
Kid who cannot discern the difference between Coke and Pepsi, even though Coke is delicious and Pepsi is garbage.
Was drop-kicking him into the manger really the best way to handle this?
There's no way that kid drop-kicked that other kid into any kind of manger, unless his parents allowed the fighting to go on well past the manger part and we missed that.
After what you pulled, you can do that alone.
How about you just started a fight in the middle of a play? You can't do that at all? Go to your room? Jesus, this couple has completely forgotten how to parent.
Na, bist du fertig damit?
I started, but...
Is this Star Wars? Does this family speak in perfect German to English translation? Do they have a babblefish in their ears?
Last year, I found in my bed, Mom. Human.
For the last time, that was their dog.
Mom somehow believes that her sister's English bulldog takes human-sized shits. Mom is just now noticing that Santa is looking at her daughter's ass instead of when she put the picture in the frame, or when she got the picture the first time, or when she was shown the f***ing proof. She had plenty of opportunities before now to look at her own family photo, is what I'm saying. Howard's Hummer shakes the whole house because he's obnoxious. Just want to make sure you understand that.
Did you give the butler the night off, did you?
This guy isn't Randy Quaid in this scene.
They're just a little cranky because the Steelers lost. Tell your Aunt Sarah about your Presidential Fitness Award.
Movie uses the previous 5 seconds of dialogue to beat me over the head with how butch Linda and Howard's daughters are.
So, what'd you ask Santa for this year? Toy car? Video games? Phone?
Dialysis.
Either Beth thinks that Howie Jr.'s mental challenges are the result of failing kidneys, or she doesn't know what dialysis is. Gross fat kid drinking soda straight from a 2-liter bottle and then immediately burping cliche.
I was in training mostly.
What were you training for,
So, Eagle Scouts.
For some reason, Howard and company are acting like being an Eagle Scout is something to laugh about. But becoming an Eagle Scout is pretty hard, right? I wouldn't know because I'm a lazy asshole, but I assume it would require a lot of discipline and hard work, and a gun-toting survivalist type like Howard would find it respectable.
What are you now, a Jew?
That's actually racist.
So to survive, he had to slaughter and eat his reindeer, including Rudolph. 8 tiny reindeer. Get it?
Yeah, but if he also ate Rudolph, that makes 9, so your pun basically falls apart. This kid hates Christmas spoiler talk as much as Marty McFly hates being called a chicken in the Back to the Future sequels. It's a very curious button that sets him off. Max's letter starts to get awkward for the grown-ups, yet no one gets up to stop Stevie from continuing to read.
I just wanted Christmas to be like it used to be.
Given that Max has retained all of his family members during his life, I have trouble seeing how this Christmas can be any different from Max's 10 previous Christmases. Also, did someone cryogenically freeze the kid from Jumanji and thaw him out last year to be in this movie? This dartboard in the background is just asking for darts to be thrown into the wall around it. This is also an orgy of evidence this is a boys' room. A stack of board games, Minecraft, pictures, toy plane, numerous off-screen things I can't even see but I know are there. I mean, how do you even sleep in this room?
Even the assholes you normally can't stand.
Saying asshole to a 10-year-old kid. I guess Krampus is able to interpret a ripped-up letter to Santa as Max wishing his entire family was gone. Kevin McAllister actually said out loud he wished his family would disappear, and the worst thing that happened to him was Joe Pesci showed up. Krampus rides in on the same cloud that the rhinoceros from James and the Giant Peach used to eat James's parents. Blackout waits to shut down this one house's power last, because that's how electricity works when you've accidentally summoned a Christmas demon. We find out later that the snowmen that appear represent people Krampus has taken to the underworld or whatever. This snowman must indicate his first victim was Abraham Lincoln.
The Turners are in Hawaii. The Lamberts are in Florida. And the Cartwrights stopped talking to us after Max's noodle incident.
How convenient for the impending evil Christmas demon. All of the neighbors are out of town except for the ones they don't talk to, causing them to be completely isolated.
Hey, these two?
Not mine. Must be from the boys in brown.
I can't talk like a normal person and say UPS because this is a half-assed DHL product placement. And look how much better we are than them. While they successfully brought packages to your door, they did not personally greet you. So stick it UP your ass, UPS.
Then can I walk over and check on him? I could see if anyone else has power on the way.
She'll be fine.
Based on Beth's conversation with her boyfriend from earlier, her parents wouldn't allow her to leave the house when there was no blizzard. Now, when an extremely large blizzard has taken out all power, the phone lines, and cell phone communication, she'll be fine. I know teenage horniness is a powerful thing, but I can't imagine it being powerful enough to inspire a teenage girl to go out into a blizzard with wind chills powerful enough to give you frostbite. Apparently, Krampus went to the same fright school as that naked dude from It Follows did. That's what you get for being deliver racist. Also, Krampus doesn't ever actually kill anyone. He just takes them to hell. So my question is, why did this guy get to stay in his van when all the other Krampus victims that we soon see get carted off to the underworld? Feeling like you're safe again when you actually aren't cliché. What the f*** was that? And she can't outcrawl this Jack-in-the-Box thing? He's in a box! What the hell happened? Damn you, PG-13 horror!
It's getting late.
She's fine. She's at Derek's.
A few problems. It's been over an hour and Beth's parents are collectively less concerned than they should be. Tom is clearly more trusting of Derek than he should be, and they let their daughter go out in a f***ing blizzard.
Do you think your Hummer could get through this mess?
This asshole Howard has been complaining the whole movie that Tom and Sarah are rich and are assholes because of it, but he owns a f***ing Hummer.
Let him out of your sight for 1 second and boom, shotgun wedding.
Shotgun wedding? I thought she was going to say freeze to death in a blizzard.
The glass is punched in.
Then I guess Krampus broke through the windshield and disintegrated him, because the glass wouldn't be that tucked in if Krampus pulled him out through the windshield.
Remember we used to fight over who got to place her?
Remember when movies built expositional dialogue into dialogue that simultaneously moved the plot forward instead of just lazily throwing in some lines about their past? I don't. I read somewhere that over 350 million Rubik's Cubes have been sold over the years, and I think 175 million of them were sold to be movie props.
Probably just squirrels.
In this weather.
Well, if they're hearing sounds directly above them, then the squirrels probably just found their way inside to keep warm. You know, since there is a second floor and an attic between them and the roof right now, making it impossible to actually hear anything happening on the roof at that volume.
See? Squirrels.
Sarah says this instead of, what the actual f*** was that?
Probably playing with their nuts.
Omi decides that she's going to sacrifice her own face to see what's going on inside the chimney. I guess because Derek's family didn't have a German grandma, they got abducted by Krampus in record time. Too bad we aren't following Derek's family, or we could be done by now.
Looks like a gas line blew.
You know, the gas lines that run up the middle of the chimney and also blow directionally. That's one of them. Even though Howard's legs were bitten by a monster and he was pulled under the snow, apparently all he got out of that were some minor injuries. Wait, so Tom hears his daughter screaming bloody murder, and instead of staying out here until he finds her, he hobbles back to his house with his brother-in-law that he hates so that he can bandage his flesh wound?
Christmas, what happened out there?
Linda pulls out her seasonal swearing this time of year.
I'm gonna teach you how to make peppermint schnapps.
I know they're just trying to show that she's unfit to be around children, but there's no way she's going to actually show them how to make peppermint schnapps without a working stove to melt some sugar and peppermint to mix with a bottle of vodka.
All right, but don't you rat me out.
Underage drinking.
She wasn't at Derek's, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it does. It means she's probably dead.
Damn near frostbite in under 4 minutes.
This is more evidence for the Tom is a shitty-ass parent for letting Beth leave column. Back when Howard handed Tom this gun, he didn't give him any more ammo. And when Howard got attacked by the gopher from Caddyshack, Tom fired off 2 rounds. So where the hell did these extra rounds come from?
I think our best bet is to stay put. Board up all the doors and windows.
Let my daughter freeze to death, and if she somehow can make it back to the house, she'll have no way of getting in. It's the perfect plan.
Go get your sister, Stevie.
I almost forgot there's an unsupervised baby in the house, one that's stayed relatively quiet during this whole exchange. That's never a good sign. If you've already had a rough, slightly disturbing Christmas Eve, the last thing you need to watch are those creepy Rankin Bass claymation Christmas movies. Tom has such a large quantity of scrap wood lying around his house, he could cover up all the doors and windows with it. I don't think Tom has actually looked through those binoculars yet, or he would clearly be able to see that he can't see through the drapes. As more of these snowmen appear, I'm starting to suspect that Krampus is actually just Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes.
You know, she always gets a little weird around Christmas.
I can buy her not telling her son what actually happened to her family, but I find it hard to believe she didn't make up a more feasible story that would still take place around Christmas time, explaining her weird behavior. Grandma, who told these assholes to keep the fire going, trusted everyone in this horrible family to do that. Krampus's plan for child abduction relies on them not being in their bedrooms, but being light sleepers and downstairs within view of the fireplace. Movie steals its gingerbread man from Shrek. No one else in the living room wakes up during this madness. The Christmas tradition of putting a dead, highly flammable pine tree in your living room. That tiny-ass fire extinguisher is going to put out that large fire.
Das ist unser aller Schuld.
Grandma waited for 2 deaths to finally say something about the wonderful world of Krampus.
Tom, what's she saying?
Are these parents not going to go outside and see what the f*** happened to their kid?
He's come for us all?
Grandma plays the pronoun game in German, which is somehow less fun than the English pronoun game.
Please, listen.
Omi suddenly knows English well enough to walk us through her backstory.
This Christmas was darker, less cheerful.
And snowflakes came down as if the whole world was a microscope. Omi outsourced her flashbacks to Tim Burton.
It was Krampus.
Roll credits.
But Krampus didn't take me that night.
So this is the story of Grandma Omi's parents getting pulled into the underworld because she wished for it to happen. My question now is, why is Krampus currently killing DHL guys and other randoms on the street, if the reason he's here is because of Max complaining about his family?
Evil Santa, Jesus H. Almighty.
You did see your kid get dragged up a chimney, right?
I'm getting Howie back.
A little late for that, right? You waited through that whole story to think about going out to get your son? Christmas Jawas.
Es geht nicht das, was du tust.
Omi goes back to exclusively German, and no one is pissed off about that, even though she proved that she can speak English moments earlier.
How'd you...
Because I'm old enough to know when life is coming at you with his pants down.
I feel like having its pants down would give you the upper hand, or at least the upper pants. Even after all this insane has gone down, only now is Linda becoming suspicious of the unmarked presents that showed up less than 24 hours ago.
I just want to get these rewrapped for the kids.
These presents survived the fire enough to just require some rewrapping. Damn it, I must have slept through the rest of the movie and Gremlins started playing. Wait, it didn't? That's just what is happening in the movie? Someone owes Spielberg an explanation.
Beth, you up there? Where have you been?
I know these girls don't see their cousin often, and they aren't super bright, but any kid knows not to follow a creepy voice that's clearly not your cousin into the attic.
I think all this might be my fault.
Aber nein.
No subtitles, so I can only assume she said, yes, it's definitely your fault. Thanks for killing all of us. Howard decides to leave Max, Omi, Dorothy, and a f***ing baby in the living room defenseless while he goes and investigates other noises, because the movie decided we need 2 congruent action sequences. Pointing a loaded gun with your finger on the trigger around a room that might contain your frightened hiding nieces. This thing is definitely terrifying, but what are all these teeth for if it swallows kids whole? I'm sure this is just a funny joke and I laughed at it like a moron, but this asshole bothers to wipe his chin after a meal. The movie ignores 2 fundamental facts about nail guns. They require compressed air, and the nose must be pushed in for it to fire. Convenient giant wood-cutting board is convenient. Excessive licking. Also, demon baby Frenching. Even though this robot is stabbing Tom multiple times in the back, Tom will continue on like he didn't get stabbed multiple times in the back. Canis ex machina. Also, Howard's dog is able to approach and eat the last gingerbread man, hardly making a sound. This doll-sized creature is able to hang a full-size human woman with the power of flight and Christmas lights. That bear is an extremely ineffective minion. The Jack-in-the-Box can eat a whole person. The owl doll can get creative with Christmas lights. And all the damn bear can do is barely bite Linda's arm.
Hey! Give me back my kids, you...
Instead of sneaking up on Der Clown with the axe, Linda decides to let it know she's coming up behind it, giving it time to get away.
Go get him, girl.
Kid assumes after hours of ass-kicking from Krampus that this dog, who is now dead by the way, will make a difference. Evil Der Clown Jack-in-the-Box makes a Nazgul sound.
Get him, Rosie.
Movie wastes time on an invisible fight between Der Clown and Der Dog. Der Clown inexplicably waits to do anything to these people while they all try to remove the owl doll. Movie suddenly got a Troll 2 vibe that I'm sure is an accident and everyone is sorry.
Back, we need to make a break for it.
Well, don't run too fast. You might get a Krampus. Not only does Krampus have evil powers that cause power to sort of come back, but he also has ironic powers because Up on the Housetop starts playing.
Mom, open the door!
Can't you just go through the big gaping hole that the elves made when they crashed through the front window?
The window.
Oh, sure, now you think about it, but now your kid is going to stop you from going in there because you're too slow to think of it. Krampus continues coming down the chimney, even though he certainly knows all the people he wants to kill just left. Well, I guess Grandma did her duty as a distraction, but I still can't figure out why this asshole even bothered with her. Movie realizes it didn't kill off characters fast enough during the duration of the movie, so it spends the last 10 minutes killing everyone else without them putting up a fight. Winter Tremors. Tom shoots the gopher demon with his new shotgun that suddenly has infinite shotgun shells. This snowplow isn't covered in feet of snow. Man, if I knew you could just make characters you wanted to kill off just vanish into the ground, I could have made a successful career writing horror movies. You don't have to be creative. Yeah, it's a car won't start cliche, but I'm wondering how this kid manages to reach the gas pedals. This kid is also fluent in German, and he's an asshole, so I don't know where he finds all the time to know this shit.
I don't even know how to drive a stick!
You don't even know how to drive a car. You're 10. Wait, does the ripoff of Tremors kill Krampus's henchmen too? Littering. Why are any of them still there? They did what they came to do. Maybe the screenwriter convinced them to stay because Max wanted to renege on his deal. That's racist. At first I thought Krampus was a principled demon, punishing kids who were bad, and forgot what it meant to have Christmas spirit. Yeah, his methods are a little extreme, but he had a purpose. Now that Max has clearly learned his lesson and Krampus just throws him into hell anyway, I'm starting to think he's no better than an internet troll. You know who you are. It was all a dream, or was it cliche? They all seem pretty bummed, but if my version of hell was getting to spend a nice Christmas morning with my family inside of a snow globe, I'd probably take it. Gotta hand it to this movie for an ending that makes you think it was all a dream, then pulls back and makes you realize it's not only real, but it's got a pretty poetic kind of ending. They're all just in that snow globe forever and ever. I like that ending. It's not happy. Gotta say though, this is a lot of missing people happening around Christmas that no one ever asks questions about. Feels like Krampus would be more of a known evil entity if he's got so many families trapped in snow globes. All the creatures show up for one last lunge at the camera for some reason. I guess they see the unseen audience. But to Krampus, this has to be pretty unusual behavior to see his minions just lunge towards something for no reason.
Buzz, what could Andy possibly get that is worse than you?
This is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkins scream in the dead of night.
As for Nicodemus, they must move your house to the lee of the stone.
That's why you always leave a note.
But now you know there was a man named Jack Dawson, and that he saved me. I don't even have a picture of him. He exists now, only in my memory.
Oh, poor baby.